Hello there, time for some fresh makeup finds. I last filmed a video like this a couple of months ago, back in February, but I've been playing with quite a few new or fairly recent launches since then, or just new to me formulas I wanted to chat through with you. New launches have never been the focus of my content, far too loyal to old favourites for that, but I like sprinkling in snippets of new for you every now and then. So get ready for the blush stick that's been blowing up my DMs, the luxurious sheer lipstick launch that felt like a personal attack, some mixed bronzer feelings, and a hit lip balm launch. Starting with the name on everyone's lips and cheeks at the moment, the Lisa Eldridge Velatura Balm Dewy Lip and Cheek Sticks. A multitasking stick from Lisa feels like a dream, and someone needs to pinch me because Lisa's team sent me this launch. This creates a luminous veil of colour, deliberately sheer, very sheer, and so radiant. It's more glassy than dewy on the skin, and isn't sticky but has a tiny bit of grip as it's designed to work on lips too. Rose Madder is called a natural cool pink, and it's a full rosebud flush without being too bright for a typically non-pink blush gal like me. It's been a surprise favourite for me, but you'll see my favourite cinnamon bun in action here very soon. If you're interested in a deeper dive on this formula, more swatches and shade comparisons to Merit's Flush Balms, I covered it all in a monster 22-minute video on my Patreon. Longest video I've ever made, clearly can talk about cream blush all day, and you can spot some snappier swatches over on my Instagram. Jones Road fans, rejoice! Miracle Balm now comes in mini form permanently because these multitasking pots are giant. Haven't got my hands on the minis yet, and there's a gorgeous new nude pink shade Chic I have my eye on, but I've been playing with Pinky Bronze. You can see me break through the satisfying top layer on Instagram, revealing this warm pinky brown with subtle shimmer. This shade in particular feels like a true highlighter, blush, bronzer, triple threat hybrid, adding warmth and a soft tan glow to the cheeks with just a pinch of rose. Super balmy and dewy, so I stick to a thin layer, patting and tapping it in to take the edge off the texture but leave you with a healthy sheen. One of the original multitaskers in the industry was reimagined last year, but I just got my first taste of the new Nars multiples through this travel mini. Same multitasking premise for cheeks, lips and eyes, but a new soft blur texture. I had a few of the original multiples years ago, and they were quite a thick matte cream from memory, similar to Nude Sticks Nudies Mattes maybe. This new version is made with silky soft focus powders for far more blurred colour, a cream to powder texture that blends out to have an even, powdery matte finish. Pinky Gold Orgasm is the brand's signature shade, of course, but in the multiple, it now only exists as a new sister, Orgasm Crave, called a peachy pink with gold pearl. Never been that into this shade family, but I do like this pale peach twist and its lasting power. Concealer is not a category I get that excited about. I think I've only used about 5 different concealers in the last decade, but I saw Katie Jane Hughes tease this Milk Makeup Hydro Grip Gel Concealer a while ago, and I was intrigued. This gel to cream stick feels creamy in a thin way, not dry or patchy on my normal to dry skin, luckily, but I find it works best applied in small stripes, not giant glides like the brand's promo. Patting it in with your fingertips, it disappears into the skin for light, natural coverage, not suitable for spot concealing. It's more of what I call an all-over skin fix to even out your skin wherever you need it, like if Glossier Stretch Concealer was a bit more pigmented, more grippy, and in a stick. You can't twist the stick down though, keep that in mind. One of my regular brow gels was recently reformulated. Typology's Fortifying Brow Gel's new and improved formula has a more minimal ingredient list, but the biggest change is the slight angle to the spoolie, making it even easier to sculpt and lift your brows. I really enjoy this formula alongside other favourites like Glossier Boy Brow or Merit Brow 1980 because it's just as creamy, comfortable and flexible, not crunchy. I used to wear shade 2 soft brown, but recently swapped to shade 3 dark brown, and it's just the right amount of tint to mimic that freshly tinted brow intensity. Back in January, Rare Beauty expanded their Warm Wishes bronzer family with this soft matte powder bronzer, described as an ultra-smooth, long-lasting powder with a blurred matte finish. Unfortunately for me, the lightest shade Summer Feels is too orangey on my fair, cool-toned skin. always a risk. Bronzers can lean orange or look unnatural very easily. The shape of the new angled powder brush launched to match it looked more like something I'd expect to contour with, but it's actually very soft and well suited to dusting around the edges of the face. The brand promises zero fallout while blending, but the brush does kick up a lot of powder in the compact. Meanwhile, much better luck with Westman Atelier Sun Tone Bronzing Drops in the shade Soleil Parfait 2. Could I have been shade 1? Absolutely, but my favourite creators with similar colouring to me, like the Anna Edit, Elizabeth C, Katie Jane Hughes, they all wear shade 2 as well. This super thin, lightweight liquid blends seamlessly, and the tone is what makes it work for my fair skin. This is more neutral and natural, almost a tiny bit rosy, so it looks like a realistic sun-kissed flush. Huge fan of Westman's liquid super loaded drops in the shade Peau de Soleil, but that's a glowy bronzing base, and this is a matte liquid bronzer. Way less glowy, way more pigmented. Half a drop, max 1 drop, rubbed between my fingertips is enough for me, but it works well blending with a dense brush like Merit Brush Number 1 too. Victoria Beckham Beauty's eyewear stick in Shroom was the final piece of my Black Friday order last year, and I've whipped it out at a perfect autumnal time in Australia. This shimmery storm grey is an ideal smoky eye colour, in an ideal format to create a smoky eye quickly and effortlessly. This has a subtle metallic finish, so it manages to add some life to the lids, not just depth, and it has very fine sparkle. Not super glittery, just brightening, similar to the little flecks in her satin kajal liner shade Cinnamon, which I love too. Smooth application, blends easily with your fingertips, but I love going back in and adding more intensity along the top and bottom lash line like a liner. Another recent find, almost a third of the price, the new Mecha Max multiplayer mode shaping sticks. I often sing the praises of the Mecha Max matte shadow sticks, but these are new matte multitaskers for cheeks, eyes and lips. Fantastic shade range, definitely getting in on the soft, blurry trend like Nina Park's lip looks or the Rode lip liners that are all the rage. Glitch is called tan with a warm undertone, but I think it's a great deeper chocolate brown, darker than most of my usual everyday one and done shadows, but it's so soft, smudgy and easy to blend. The colour can almost disappear, so I just go back in and build it up. A really foolproof finish. Lisa Eldridge brought back her coveted eyeshadow palette Betty a couple of months ago after popular demand, and it's inspired me to play with pops of purple. I'm a cat lover like Lisa, so the fact this combination was inspired by her gorgeous lavender tortoiseshell British short hair called Betty is a bonus. There's a peachy, gingery gold, a mulberry mink, delicious shade description and alliteration there, a lilac pink with wet look shine, a deeper lavender, a semi-translucent silvery green with pink and lilac pearls, and a cool mushroom taupe. The texture of these powders is sensational. Buttery, smooth and rich, as always, a beautifully playful yet delicate springtime colour scheme for you in the Northern Hemisphere. Ugh, I resisted the new Westman Atelier Hydro Balm sheer tinted lipsticks for as long as I could, but ultimately I was powerless to Bob, a sheer flushed rosewood named after Gucci Westman's dog. Cat and dog inspiration, okay. This is meant to have the cushion soft comfort of a balm, and the texture reminds me of a thin satin lipstick, really comfy but not slippy like a balm, which helps this sheer colour stick around and wear really well. The price point is painful. Luckily, the Sephora sale is still on when this video goes live, so I hate to be the bearer of good news because, unfortunately, the formula's stunning. This shade is more brown, less rosewood than expected, so English Rose is also tempting me. Quite surprised by the colourful new packaging design direction Westman Atelier is going in. Reminds me of Kosas going from their original black and white to bright. Let me know what you think. Rare Beauty's new Find Comfort Lip Butter Balms are described as a daytime balm and an overnight mask. You'd probably need to stick to the sheer one for that. Easygoing, the clear, unscented shade has been in my handbag as my latest on-the-go balm for the past month. It really coats the lips, leaving them super buttery and supple and acting like a barrier. It's reasonably thick for a stick balm. Not sticky though, but I use a lighter hand with the 3 tinted shades. Uplifting is the deep, cool berry I'm the biggest fan of, like a moodier version of Bob above. This has a subtle vanilla scent, but I wouldn't say subtle. It's very tasty, but very noticeable. Last but not least, Laneige Juice Pop Box Lip Tints interested me as someone who's dabbled in Korean beauty, glossy tints/stains in the past, but can sometimes find them patchy on my usually pretty dry lips. This texture and colour applies and wears so evenly. The curved applicator helps the water to oil texture glide on. It feels silky and light, not sticky. It's called a hydrating, lightweight lip oil tint after all. Definitely feels like a juicy yet thin oil. Jazzy Jam is a great everyday shade. It's called a light rosy brown, but there's definitely more rose than brown here. I also can't agree with the 12-hour wear claim, unfortunately. The shine faded after I ate lunch and the tint faded after a few hours, but it fades evenly, and that's what I really care about. Hope you enjoyed another pick and mix of recent makeup launches and discoveries for me. Please share any of your recent beauty finds to report back on, whether it's early arrivals from the Sephora sale in the US and Canada, anything that's caught your eye, or rediscovered hidden gems from your collection. Let me know. Thanks for watching. See you next time.